Whether you're capturing those special moments at a wedding or carefully positioning a sleeping newborn for the most precious picture, professional photography takes some serious skill. But taking beautiful photos is only half of the job. Editing those photos can take hours, and if you don't have the proper workstations for it, you're screwed. That's where the team at PC World swoops in. You're going to need a laptop with a powerful CPU for those power-hungry editing programs, discrete graphics, and a high-resolution display. You will also need to take storage and portability into consideration. If you're not sure where to begin, don't sweat it. Watch this video we have curated. Watch this video. We have curated a list of the 10 best laptops for photo editing, and don't forget, check out the description to find out their prices and more information. We have included the links in the description below. So without further ado, let's get started. At the first position of our list, we have Asus VivoBook Pro 16X OLED, best overall. If you're looking for a killer display, the Asus VivoBook Pro 16X OLED is a fantastic choice. The 4K OLED panel is a work of art. Not only does it produce vibrant images, but it's a solid choice for those who deal with tension headaches from eye strain. If you find yourself spending hours upon hours looking at a screen, you might as well invest in one with a sharp picture. The VivoBook is also powerful when it comes to processing power. Let's take a look at under the hood, shall we? The Ryzen 9 5900HX CPU is fast enough for photo editing software like Adobe Lightroom and Bridge. As for memory and storage options, it has 32GB of RAM and a whopping 1TB of PCIe NVMe M.2 SSD storage. That's sufficient enough for quickly firing up multiple applications and storing gigantic raw images. There are a few flaws to be aware of though. The webcam is less than stellar and the fingerprint reader is temperamental. Overall, however, the VivoBook Pro is a fabulous machine that any photo editor would love. Moving on to the next at number 2 with MSI GF76 Katana. Best value. If you're on a tight budget, the MSI GF76 Katana is an excellent value pick. It features an Intel Core i7 12700H CPU, an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3050 Ti GPU, 16GB of RAM, and 512GB of PCIe 4 SSD storage. In other words, this laptop is fast enough to handle most photo editing work as well as everyday use like browsing the web and streaming Netflix. The trackpad and keyboard are surprisingly comfortable too. The only real knock against this machine is the dim display. It's not horrible, but some photo editors may prefer a brighter screen. That said, it's 17.3 inches and that's a ton of screen real estate to work with. If you're a beginner photo editor looking to save money, the GF76 Katana is well worth considering. The number 3 position is held by Razer Blade 17 2022. Best for power users. The Razer Blade 17 2022 version is our top choice for power users. This beastly machine has an Intel Core i7 12800H CPU, 32GB of DDR5 RAM, 1TB of PCIe Gen 4 NVMe SSD storage, and a GeForce RTX 3080 Ti GPU. The 17.3-inch QHD display is both rich and vibrant with a resolution of 2650 x 1440 and a maximum refresh rate of 240Hz. The Blade has a lot to offer, that's for sure. However, the biggest caveat is the price. The Blade costs thousands of dollars. The powerful components may even be a bit overkill for beginner photo editors. However, if it's power you desire and you're able to shell out the cash, then the Blade is an awesome buy. Next at number 4, we have ROG Zephyrus G14 2022. Most portable. If portability is at the top of your priority list, the Asus ROG Zephyrus G15 is a great choice due to its lightweight form factor. It weighs a little over 3 pounds, which puts it in the ultra-portable category. Don't let the slim profile fool you though, it's packing some seriously powerful internals. The Zephyrus has a Ryzen 9 6900HS processor, 32GB of DDR5 RAM, and 1TB of PCIe 4.0 SSD storage. That's plenty sufficient for heavy-duty photo editing tasks. However, there are a few tiny nitpicks to be aware of. The keyboard feels too soft and the backlighting is unimpressive. Nitpicks aside, if you're looking for a compact laptop that delivers blazing fast performance, the Zephyrus G14 is the way to go. The number 5 position is held by Dell Inspiron 16. Best battery life. Battery life is an often overlooked feature when searching for the best photo editing laptop. When you're on the road or out of the office, you need a laptop that will last without charging as long as possible. When we ran our battery benchmark, which cycles through a series of tasks and videos until the laptop dies, the Dell Inspiron 16 lasted a marathon 16.5 hours on a single charge. That should allow you to edit to your heart's content without worrying about a dead battery. However, due to that same battery, it isn't the most portable, weighing a hefty 4.7 pounds. It is rather inexpensive as well, but sacrifices will need to be made for the price. Under the hood, you get an Intel Core i7 1260p CPU, Intel Iris Xe graphics, 16GB of RAM, and 512GB of SSD storage. While that should suffice for most photo editing jobs, the lack of storage capacity means you will likely need an external hard drive to save all of your high-res photos. The number 6 position is dominated by Asus ROG Flow Z13, Best Folio Style Laptop. The Asus ROG Flow Z13 is one of the more unique picks on this roundup. It's marketed as a folio-style gaming machine. You can pop open the kickstand on the rear plate and use it like a traditional clamshell. You can even remove the keyboard and use it as a touch-enabled tablet. The versatility of this machine makes it a cool choice for creative work. It has some pretty powerful internals too. The Flow is rocking an Intel Core i9 12908 CPU, an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3050 Ti GPU, 16GB of RAM, and 512GB of PCIe NVMe M.2 SSD storage. That's plenty powerful for editing photos and general use tasks like checking email and browsing the World Wide Web. The 1200p IPS touch display is also sharp and colorful. The Flow isn't a budget-friendly option though. Moving on to the next at number 7 with MacBook Pro M1 16-inch 2021. Sure, the new MacBook Pro may be an obvious pick as the absolute best laptop for photo editing, but it's hard not to be thoroughly impressed by what it has to offer. We still love the original 13-inch M1 MacBook, but with a maximum 16GB of RAM, it could never quite topple the older Intel-powered MacBook Pro to be a truly future-proofed image video editing powerhouse. Not anymore. Apple has addressed these concerns big time. The current 2021 MacBook Pro not only smashes any RAM limitations courtesy of its Apple M1 Max chip, which can be had with 64GB of RAM, it also comes with a 16-inch screen size, which is noticeably more comfortable for long editing sessions than a 13-inch panel. The incredible Liquid Retina XDR display boasts an insane 1600 nit peak brightness, making HDR content come alive, and it can display a high DCI P3 color space coverage for accurate video editing. The number 8 position is held by MacBook Air M2 2022. The MacBook Air released in 2022 is the direct replacement to the MacBook Air of 2020. While it looks incredibly similar to its predecessor, it has been redesigned and is now powered by a more powerful M2 chip rather than 2020's M1. The base M2 chip packs an 8-core CPU and 8-core GPU, which can be upgraded to a 10-core GPU for an additional cost. You also get 8GB RAM and 256GB of SSD storage as standard, but photographers and other creatives will almost certainly want to get at least 16GB of RAM and 512GB of SSD storage. With our 16GB test machine, we were astounded at how this little laptop could keep up with our most demanding image processing requests and not break a sweat. There are no fans to work, and it doesn't seem to heat up under pressure. Next, at number 9, we have Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 9. The Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon has long been a fab choice for on-the-go photo editing, thanks to its compelling blend of high performance and sleek lightweight design. The current 9th Gen X1 Carbon can be spec'd with several 14-inch options. All have at least a resolution of 1920 by 1200 and a respectable 400 nits max brightness plus 100% sRGB color coverage. The range-topping display is an ultra-high-res 3840 by 2400 panel with a 500 nit brightness and a hugely impressive 100% DCI-P3 color space coverage. Elsewhere, bang up to date, 11th Gen Intel Core processors provide ample computing power, and though RAM appears to top out at 16GB, you can customize some X1 Carbon configs to pack 32GB. Finally, the number 10 position is dominated by Dell XPS 15. The Dell XPS 15 range can be confusing. There are lots of different spec configurations to choose from, and pricing can frequently fluctuate. We reckon the best config for photographers is one which includes Dell's best 4K plus 3840 by 2400 16:10 screen, which boasts 500 nit brightness and touch sensitivity. The only issue with that is a few XPS 15 configs come with this display, and they're inevitably at the pricier end of the range. The extra cash does also buy you plenty of performance, courtesy of an 11th Gen 8-core Intel Core i9 processor. And you can choose from the 16GB right up to a whopping 64GB of RAM, though we'd only recommend the latter if you'll be editing high-res video as well as images. That's all for today. We upload tech product review videos every single day, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for the upcoming video notifications.